Check. We good?
Check. We good.
All right. This is the Cool in Real Life podcast where passions and purpose align. I'm Alex Black.
I'm Courtney, better known as Kurt Cobain.
And we back, episode 14.
We back.
Yes, outside in the elements.
Facts.
In the wonderful city of Philadelphia.
We are. Where we at, though?
At the Art Museum.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's perfect for this episode.
Yeah.
To be outside, to be in the sun, in nature. You know, maybe not super nature. Like, they do have, like, everything manicured, but it's a lot of greenery around us. So that's healing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therapeutic.
It's a good look.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so we're talking about mental health this month. We're recording it at the end of May, so, you know, we're still getting it in time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so we're just going to just give a little recap, basically, of where we are this year with our mental health, how we've grown since last year, in last year's episode. Jeez. The win! And, yeah.
Yeah, man. So May is for mental health. Last time we recorded it earlier and we dropped it in May. This time we've allowed ourselves to go through all the feels within the month and experience the month as a whole and then record at the end. So,
yeah.
And we had a lot going on.
We for sure did. Had an unintended break.
We had an intended break and we had an unintended break on top of that. So, I would say the initial break was for mental health purposes.
Yeah.
We wanted to take a break to kind of like regroup. I started to feel burned out. I started to feel overwhelmed. I needed time away from Cool in Real Life to just experience life. And I realized whenever we would do the What's Your Life Like is before each episode, my goal was always trying to find balance in my personal life.
Right.
And I never really got a chance to really get that. So, needed to take the time out to just go ahead and work on that. So I feel better with that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, if anybody who like was really paying attention, you definitely would speak about that often. Like, I'm trying to find a balance. So I think just us being intentional about like taking a break, and it's just something that we're going to have to implement moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because we just need that time. Yeah. So for me, I got sick
off,
with the pneumonias. Crazy. Took me down real bad. Actually got sick at our photo shoot, being up here with my chesticles exposed.
That's when you feel like you got sick?
Yeah, and when I went home that night, I got sick. When we
it was raining that day.
It was raining and cold. Yeah.
Wow.
Again, unexpected rain, because it wasn't supposed to rain till later.
Yeah.
And we got caught out there.
Wow.
And now I know my grandma always used to say, close your chest up for you catch pneumonia.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy. So and I remember like you came around, you was like, I'm like, man, you sound bad. You were like, no, it's just allergies.
Yeah. But
that was before we went to go shoot.
It was. So I think I really did have like an allergy flare up beforehand, because when I was taking the allergy medicine, like it was helping. But after we went and did the photo shoot and I was outside in that cold and the rain that night, I went downhill quick at my dad's house. It was bad.
Wow. That sucks. That's unfortunate.
It was a difficult time, like just dealing with it, the headaches that I had because of it. And it took me so long to find out that I had pneumonia, because I thought that I had like a sinus infection.
Yeah.
Because I had a really, really bad headache for like a week. And it was all of my sinus crevices, like all in here, here, just pressure I felt. So I'm taking, like Tylenol for sinuses and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember going to therapy on Tuesday, and my therapist was like, you need to go to the urgent care or something today. What are you doing? I ain't go. Being hard-headed. That night I caught a fever. It was in excruciating pain, and I wished so bad that I would have took her advice and went. And so the next morning I went to the urgent care, and they did the x-ray and showed the pneumonia all in my lungs.
Wow.
Showed me where it was at. Yeah.
Wow. I got sick with whatever was going on. Like, there was a really bad flu strain this year. And unfortunately, I think it's making a resurgence. But I believe I had pneumonia from that. And my dumbass just never went and checked it out. Man.
When you used to just thugging it out,
Yeah, but I should know better.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like I of all people should know better. And it just goes to show that even when you know better, it doesn't mean that you're technically gonna do better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you sounded really, really bad. It was bad.
It was bad for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I couldn't look at phones, like look at screens, everything. Like, I kept it on sleep mode because it dims the phone. Everything was low. I couldn't hold my eyes open. Like, I remember trying to talk to you and like just coughing. Like, my voice sounded bad.
Yeah. It was bad.
It was very bad. And so like it weighed on me mentally for a number of reasons. One, because like one of the reasons my grandma passed is due to pneumonia.
Yeah.
So like that's why I never wanted to get COVID. I never wanted to get pneumonia because those are the two things that like took her out. But it just gave me like a newfound like respect for her, just because like dang, she dealt with both of those at the same time, and she was fighting to like have her own agency because they wanted to put her on the ventilator.
Right.
And standing her ground and going out on her own terms. So shout out to my grandma, man. I miss her so much.
Miss Loretta, man.
I miss her so much. But yeah, even thinking about her so heavily when, me having pneumonia, I could just see the growth from where I was last year even to now, where I didn't feel sorrow, this time around when thinking about her. And another thing too that sucks is she had a ring for me, right? That she kept. She was like, this is for me. It had our birthstone in it, and so like when she passed, like they gave it to me, and I wore it around my neck. Like I put it on a necklace with like a diamond heart underneath, just because I wanted to have like a piece of her every day. And they took it off of me to do the X-ray. I don't know where it's at.
What?
So that sucked too. Like
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I haven't been trying to think about it like too heavy because I don't want to get sad, because it's like, dang, this was like a keepsake.
Yeah, for sure.
What I mean? For my grandma. And I remember I was just out of it, like when I was at and that's when after that they sent me to the hospital. So it was just so much going on, and I remember them taking the necklace off so I can get the X-ray, and I don't know where it's at.
Wow,
it's gone. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
but you know what? That's just further proof of what life is like, right? Like. We might want to keep things, but we can't take things with us.
Right, that's true.
And I think that like beyond the physicalities, the memories mean more.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to like negate how you feel.
Yeah.
But it's like can't take none of that with you when you're
so it's like, what was I gonna do? Like, and I didn't beat myself up. Like I was sad like about it just because it was something that she wanted for me. But then it was like, what was I gonna do? Like keep it in the box the whole time and not wear it? Like I'm glad that I did wear it on my body for as long, and I could look back in pictures and I can see when I started wearing it every day.
Right. And
then people would ask, oh, that's a pretty ring. Oh, I got it from my girl. You know what I mean? I'm glad that I got to experience that in that way when I did.
And maybe it was just sent there to comfort you when you needed it. And now that you're moving even like into a more healthier space within your grief, maybe it's time for it to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like some things are yo,
that lady don't play about that bell.
That lady don't play about that bell. So like there's a bell out here. There's like an installation. They have art pieces that are installed on the campus of the art museum outside. And these idiots, like they literally will literally touch the installments. So there's this black lady that does not play about these installments, yo. Like she will get on a loudspeaker and just be like, can you please get your kid from underneath the bell? Can you please stop touching the shit and move around? Move around.
Yeah.
And there's a drum line on the other side of these trees. I don't know where they are, but it sounded like drum line.
They do.
But nah, I think that like there's things that's sent to help us, and they are a crutch when we definitely need that extra support. But sometimes that crutch can become crippling and stop us from walking on our own. So I feel like, it was there when you needed it, and you can't do nothing about it now.
Right. So,
Does that sound insensitive? I guess I try. I guess for me it's like, I'll give you an example. My dad has like this really dope record player, don't nobody in my family listen to records. I actually, my vinyl definitely weigh a ton.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Uh-huh.
It's like, what I'm gonna do?
Right.
Like, I felt like that was for me.
Yeah, for sure.
What I'm gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it pops up. You never know.
Yeah, if it does, but I've made my peace with it. You know
Word.
what I'm saying? So, shout out to my grandma for thinking of me for that. But yeah, let me. Do I have a cough drop? Because I feel a little tickle in my throat. I still got a little touch of the pneumonias. So this was like my test, coming out here and recording again, like seeing how well I can do with speaking, long term, laughing when I laugh, like I go into a little bit of a coughing fit.
Yeah,
so
man.
I can feel my voice. I can hear it like in a little raspy.
Word.
But yeah, during that time, I didn't tell anybody but my therapist, but like I kind of wasn't the best like mentally.
Yeah.
I was ready to like check up out of here, especially after they told me like that they thought I had a sepsis infection.
Yeah.
I really didn't care. Like I didn't have the energy or like the will to care. So I went home that night, like, you know, I didn't care about staying to be in a safe place just in case something did happen.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a really bad time. Like even when I talked to you the next day about it and you was like, go back to the hospital. I wasn't going back to the hospital. You know, I just didn't have, I didn't care. And it's not suicidal because I have talked to whenever I have thoughts like this, you know, I do talk to a professional about it.
Yeah.
It's just, sometimes I just don't have the will, you know, sometimes. But I had to start thinking about, I recognized that I wasn't in like a good place.
Yeah.
All right, what can I do to pull myself out of it instead of staying there? So then I had to start thinking like, how would this affect my loved ones if I left, especially my mom? I could see her in my peripheral vision, like freaking out about me making the decision to leave the hospital. How would that have weighed on her because she didn't fight me to stay? If I was to pass away, like she would have been living with that guilt, you know, and blamed herself.
For sure.
For sure. Like even when I wasn't feeling good and she made me go eat, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the store and get something. And she was like, can I come with you? And when we got back to the house, she was like, I came with you because if something was to happen to you and I made you go outside of the house, I would have never been able to live with myself. So I know for sure if I would have passed away from that sepsis infection, like,
yeah, man.
And she would have, so, you know, I had to think about her, just to pull me out of it. So eventually, you know, I got the will to like, all right, let me get my life together and continue to take my medicine and, you know, just try to be on the up and up.
Yeah.
But it was hard, man.
I bet.
It was so hard.
I wonder how people who have chronic illnesses feel, man.
Right.
I'm sure they feel the same way. Like, man, it's not necessarily sucidal ideation, but it's just like, I'm just over this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm tired.
I was tired. I cannot explain how bad those headaches were. Like, feeling like a knife, someone's like, carving is a specific thing. It's one thing to like slice or whatever, but to dig, that's how it felt. All in my head in several places. Like, it was excruciating. I just would lay there like this, squeezing my head.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I'm grateful to be better, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm grateful for all the people who I did tell, who checked in on me, who sent me medicine and garlic honey. V sent me like, eat this. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah, I'm grateful for, you know, the people showing up for me.
I feel like we underestimate health. I feel like we take health for granted. Like, it's not guaranteed. It's not something that's promised.
For sure.
And when we have it, we should definitely be grateful for it. You know what I mean? 'Cause when we don't, it changes everything. It changes your mood. It changes your personality. It changes your viewpoint of the world. Like, it literally infuses itself into every aspect of your life. Yeah. And a lot of times in a negative way. And much love to the people who are dealing with that level of pain and anguish and illness, and they still manage to be like super upbeat and positive. Like, I asked the patient the other day that I was caring for, I said, you know, in the midst of what you're going through, like, how do you still remain, like, positive? And she was just like, because I know that I'm going to a better place when I leave here. And that brought tears to my eyes.
That hit me,
like,
even just hearing it.
That really hit me. That you're in so much pain. And even when we're giving you stuff for pain, it's not correcting it because the pain is beyond medication. Like, medication is not going to help that level of pain, but it's like you still, like, she smiled every time I entered the space. Like, she was super positive, super kind, and I learned a lot from people like that.
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah. So that's what I went through in April. I was sick the whole month into May, but also I think I've been intentionally doing a lot of work when it comes to my mental health, just figuring out my triggers, you know, what triggers trauma and different actions and different stuff like that. And I've learned a lot about myself. So let me read what it was, because when my therapist said it, I just was like, I don't think that I've ever heard anything that was so specific to me before. And so to have like words for it, it just, I don't know if liberating is a word, but it felt like I felt seen. Okay. You know, so to speak. So the two things are analysis paralysis and hypoarousal. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
Okay. Let me look it up.
Got lint on your jaw.
Thank you, homie.
Yeah, man.
Analysis paralysis is a term used to describe the feeling of being unable to make decisions due to overthinking and overanalyzing a problem. That is me.
Damn.
That is me.
That 100%. You overthink to the point where you become paralyzed?
Yeah. And I used to think that it was decision fatigue, like I was tired of making decisions.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's like the thought of having to do it is so many things are running through my mind that I can't make one.
Wow.
And I think that that's why sometimes like I get startled. You know, I'm easily scared.
Yeah.
But that's because like I'm always thinking about something. So like I'm never really like just focused on the one task that I'm doing.
So what's the cure for that?
I don't know.
Damn, she just dropped you with the terminology?
No, she just, I don't think that it's like cures for things. It's like you have to, what I have to do now is like work on like recognizing when I'm in the situation.
Okay. And then beyond recognition,
and
like
then pushing past it.
How do you push past it? Like, are you interested in things like, meditation? Like things that make you like cause you to slow down your process, you know, the process in your body, the process in your mind, like slow everything down. Like have you mastered it have you mastered meditation to the point where you can do that? Where you can detach like that?
No, I haven't even done meditation since like I was taking yoga class in high school. So it's like, this is why I be saying like, I know that I need, like outside of either I'm doing like something like meditation or I should be on, I know I need to be on medication and I
so why
don't have it.
Are you against the medication?
No, it's like I think I waited too long to get back in touch with like the nurse practitioner who prescribed me the medicine. And now she's not accepting like new patients again. And it's been so long since I've seen her that I would be, you know how you drop off and you're considered a new patient.
You need a whole new evaluation.
Yeah.
Cause your diagnosis might have changed.
Oh, for sure. I know it did. Like I stopped seeing her right before the divorce, the hysterectomy, everything. Like everything has started like really going downhill. I don't know why I did that, but I did. So yeah, that analysis paralysis and hypoarousal is a state where a person's physiological and psychological responsiveness is below the normal range. So it's like essentially a freeze or shutdown response, often triggered by overwhelming stress or trauma, and you feel numb and disconnected.
Wow.
And I do that like a lot. I think I've also like numbed myself to like a lot of feelings as a result of, especially like my last relationship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when you go so long without things, or I've gone so long like without certain things, that I've like taught myself to just like be without them. So I don't have many desires for things. So I have to work on, work on it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's deep.
Yeah. So shout out to therapy, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to therapy. Speaking of therapy, I definitely need to get back in therapy. You know what I mean? I definitely have gone way too long without it.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, for me, it's good to do, even just to have like a healthy baseline. Like, even when you feel like you're in a good baseline,
yeah,
you should still go to therapy.
Yeah.
And I was telling somebody, the woman that I'm dating, I'm like, babe, like, we should go to counseling just because. You know what I mean? Like, things are good, but like, just ensuring that we have a safe space.
Right.
So that when times are tough, we have the tools to navigate. I don't necessarily want to get into like when things have already gone awry. Now we're trying to pick up the pieces.
Right.
Nah, I want to have the tool set before we even get to that point.
I think that's healthy.
Yeah, man.
Like, you don't have to just go to therapy when there's a problem.
Right.
Right. Things are good. Like, how can we sustain it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else has been going on?
Oh, for me? I think for me, I've had a couple of breakdowns, you know what I mean? I think I'm in a space right now where it's just like I'm choosing peace. Like, I can't have a life without it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've done a pretty damn good job of like instilling peace within my own life. So anybody that comes into my life at this point, you can't take away from that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just setting healthy boundaries for myself. Trying not to negate how I feel for the sake of other people's feelings. Just honoring myself, honoring my feelings, honoring that I'm not okay, and being okay with telling people that I'm not okay. I think, for the longest, I've always been like the stronghold for everyone else. I think I appear super strong and resilient, and I am.
Yeah.
But even those of us who are super resilient, like, we need support too. And I think a lot of times people like myself who are strong-willed and we don't vent too much to the point where like we're breaking down and crying every day. I think that people can, unfortunately overlook us, or have a misconception of us, that I'm not feeling these deep wave of emotions just like everybody else.
Right.
Around this time of years, the anniversary of my dad's transition, the anniversary of Brandon's transition, my cousin's transition. So like, even though I feel like I've tried to take a healthy approach on transitioning in and of itself, right? I think that the body just knows.
It does.
The body just knows.
It always does, yeah.
And I think I did a good job this time around. Like, I communicated with my loved ones, like, hey, like, this time of year, I might get a little bit more distant. This time of year, I might need a little bit more support. I might need the hugs. I might need the quality time.
Yeah.
I don't have the capacity for drama and turmoil. Like, I just don't have it. And, I'm just trying to honor how I feel. Yeah. I'm trying to find time for Courtney. You know what I mean? Like I said, like, I needed to take a step back from cooling her life. It started to become not fun to me. It started to feel like a task for me. And I was pouring into it more than I was pouring into my own life.
Yeah.
And it started to feel like court in real life and not cool in real life. You know what I mean? So just trying to find a healthy balance for my personal life and being okay with like scaling back. Coming up with all these great ideas and just understanding that, every idea is not going to get off the shelf,
Right.
Just put it on the shelf. You could
to
double
it.
back,
Yeah.
And I think that we live in a society where it's like, especially with social media, like deadlines, timelines, like everything is on a timeline. Everything is on a deadline. Like when you're working with others, they want to know dates. They want to know when things are going. That's overwhelming for me. I just like to create, and I just like to give it to the world whenever it's done. And you know, some things like the podcast, is okay to have a schedule, but like when it comes down to like creating, I realize that I don't like to be on a regimen. Like that doesn't work for me. And it's never worked for me. Even when I was a kid in art school and I had projects I had to do, I never did them. I got that paralysis. Soon as somebody like has like an expectation of me to create, because I feel like that's not really like, when it comes down to like utilizing your creative side, that's not really even how creativeness works. You just have to let it flow.
Right.
And when it happens, it happens. And when you allow it to happen like that, when you allow it to organically occur, that's when you put out your best work. You know what I mean? But when you're trying to meet a deadline, you're trying to, you know what I mean, rise to expectations of other people.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work for me. So, yeah, I'm just realizing that a lot of the pressures that I put on myself are real. You know, like that aesthetic thing. Like, how do I become okay with things not always looking so polished or being perfect? You know, like, how do I move beyond that? You know, I've been this way my whole life. How do I move beyond that?
Right.
So I'm working on that right now. I definitely need to get back in therapy. Shout out my therapist, girl. I'm about to come calling. You know what I'm saying? And I just been trying to do things that make me happy.
Right.
Be around people that make me happy. I think if I had to put myself at a percentage, I want to say 75% of me is happy. But that 25%, that's like underlining, like this underlining sadness. And I have to figure out what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to realize what it is. And I'm trying to communicate that with people that I care about and that care about me. But yeah, man. Yeah. Right. I started posting on my page again, my personal page. Just showcasing Courtney more.
Right.
Yeah.
Word.
Just out here, man.
Yeah. I definitely I don't know, now that I'm armed with like the information, just trying to like move different. Like everything just makes so much more sense.
Word.
And you know, I would be in situations and not even like really realizing it. Like when me and the unit went to the bar, right? Everybody's ordering drinks. And I'm looking at the menu and I couldn't decide between two drinks. So to me, only 5 minutes had passed. And I was like, all right, I've made my decision.
Right.
When I ordered that drink, they had already paid. They drank their drinks. We were damn near about to go. That's how much time had passed. But to me, I didn't take that long. It was only like 5 minutes to me.
But was it real 5 minutes?
No, to me, it was. It was a short amount of time. But when I looked up, and then I asked the girl, I was like, you did, because I was going to try to pay the tab. It was already done.
Wow.
They were about to leave.
Wow.
So if you see me looking at something for too long, like a piece of paper or something, I'm probably struggling.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that, man. It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. At least you have some level of acknowledgement. It's the ones that's out here moving and shaking in the world. They don't got no acknowledgement, no self-awareness.
Right.
And they think that they're okay.
Yeah. And
they're harming people. They're harming themselves and they're harming people. At least you have awareness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just trying to be better. And just being more comfortable, like showing up as me. Like I think I worry about like seeming normal to people.
Yeah.
You know, when I go out, because if I think that when they see me, you know, you don't think, oh, this person has, you know, these mental health problems. So I try to, like, I don't know where that, so I just try to seem normal, but like it ain't normal all the time.
Ain't no such thing as normal, fam.
Yeah.
We gotta get over that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, being more comfortable, like showing up as like how, you know, how I really am.
Word.
And if you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't,
it is what it is.
That's cool. You know, I don't need you anyway.
Yo, look at that gopher. God
Dang.
that man is out.
Where you running from?
People.
Shit, we in his house.
Right.
About to go in the hole. Pause.
My bad, y'all.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
Just I see the growth in us.
Yeah.
From this year to last year. You know what I mean? I think that like people pleasing was one thing that we talked about. And I wanted to bring this up before we head out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I now look at people pleasing like it's manipulation. I look at people pleasers like they are manipulators. And I said that to somebody and they took offense at first. You know what I mean? And I understand it, because like when you break down people pleasing, you're thinking like, well, I'm trying to please people, so how can I be manipulating, right? And on top of that, not only am I trying to smooth everything out, I'm also not okay with doing it. Like I'm giving so much of myself. I'm putting myself on a back burner essentially to show up for other people. So I think that when you say that that's actually manipulation, it actually caught that person by surprise. You know what I mean? But what I will say is this, like, if you're showing up in the world at a capacity or in a way that's not authentic to yourself in order to try to change the dynamic of a situation, that is indeed manipulation to me. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily intentional. Right. I don't think that people are intentionally people pleasing to manipulate. Right. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. But I think that like once we start to break that thing down, you know, I realize like, yo, I have no tolerance for people pleasing. Even when it benefits me. Yeah. And it benefits me a lot, especially with my personality style. I come across a lot of people pleasers.
I think it's levels to it. I think I know most people probably don't do it maliciously. Yeah. Some people do, because like, especially if you've been made aware that you are a people pleaser, like, yo, I can tell you're doing this type of thing because you think that this is what I want, and you continue to do that. That's a choice. Wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So I think it's levels to it, because like you said, some people like don't realize it's a result of, you know, how you were brought up, your upbringing. And then we also don't stop to think like that they are a triggered person. You have done something to trigger that response in them as well. So like, you know.
Yeah, so I think that like, even when you know that you're dealing with people pleasers, like understanding the triggers, right? Like you should never want to put them in a mode where they feel as though they have to resort to that.
Exactly.
Because that's like a defense. It's like a tool to a survival tactic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that for myself, dealing with yet another people pleaser, I'm super gentle with her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about it. And I just let her know my boundaries, and I let her know where I'm coming from. Yeah. And just creating safety. Right. Just creating safety and complete openness and acceptance. No judgments. If this is not what you want to do, it's not what you want to do.
And that's okay.
And it's okay.
Exactly.
But you got to be okay with saying that, right? And really standing on that.
Yeah. That's true. You know, they definitely need a soft space to land, and grace, because like when you go so long, especially if you have been punished for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, things in the past, it does take some work to get rid of that like conditioning.
Yeah.
But you know, as long as, you know, there's grace, space, time, and in a soft place to land, then that person has to do the work of taking accountability for themselves and like, okay, I realize that this is the thing that I'm doing. I can't continue to do it. Like, if I'm being presented like with gentleness and with safety, it's okay for me to let go. It's okay for me to be my authentic self. Yeah. And know that no harm is gonna come like towards me.
Right.
And if it does, then you don't need to be in that situation.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, you can't. It takes, you know, it's a give and take. Like eventually, the person doing the people pleasing does have to take some initiative to stop doing that.
They do.
Yeah.
It's all hands on deck with that. And then on top of that, just to end things out lovely, I think where I am in my life is just, I want everybody in my life to show up authentic. I think that that's true love.
Yeah.
Like who you authentically are I want that version of you. I want the real you, the whole you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to give that to the world as well. You know, I want to be just as safe as I help provide safety for others. I want to be safe as well.
Right.
I want people to provide safety for me. Yeah, man. I think I don't know. I feel good.
Yeah. Shout out to another year of growth.
Yeah.
You know, for us. I think this is cool to like just sit down and like have a stripped back thing where we just like survey the year, like where we were last year to this year, you know, and have this space to just talk about things like this.
I'm way more vulnerable now.
Yeah.
I am. You know what I mean? I grew up in a world where it's like, yo, vulnerability is a weakness, but vulnerability is actually strength.
Yeah.
You know, to bear all, that's so strong. It takes such strength to do that. And the older I get, I'm realizing like certain things I can't handle it. Like I'm just trying to like honor things that are good for my nervous system, 100%. Lastly, and then we out of here. I promise. I really wanted to talk about and we probably don't even have time to talk about this. We probably don't have time to talk about this. We can talk about it on the next episode.
Okay.
Because I want to actually give it more time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So on that next episode, we're gonna unpack that. It'll give the viewers something to look forward to.
Word.
Because I'm going in, y'all.
Oh,
you don't even know
shoot.
what I'm gonna be talking about, but just know I'm going in. It's something. Yeah. Cool. Much love to mental health. I pray that everybody is taking their mental health serious. I pray that everyone has a safe space to unpack. And if you don't have a safe space to unpack, you can always hit us up, man. You can always hit us up. Is that something that people can do?
Yeah, especially if you need resources.
Yeah, man.
I can point you in the right direction to get some help. If you have the means to, I think if you do have the means, talk to somebody. Like, do the work and do the real work. Don't go to therapy like on some patty cake shit. Excuse my language. Like you gotta, you gotta do the hard work. You gotta talk about the uncomfortable things.
Facts.
To grow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also just honor yourself. Honor that depression is a real thing and it's okay. Anxiety is a real thing and it's okay. And all the other mental illnesses are real things and that's okay as well. But especially anxiety and depression in the climate that we live in right now.
Facts.
It's really hard not to be depressed. It's really hard not to be anxious. We are in a treacherous world right now.
Treacherous.
And my friend was recently diagnosed with depression and I said, well, who the fuck ain't? Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Not to negate it, but it's like, yo, like, it's hard out here. We about to go through a whole recession. There's genocide everywhere. I don't really want to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's so much going on in the world right now. People can't even buy groceries. You can't pay your bills. You're bogged down by debt. We have a hard time communicating with each other. We have a hard time connecting with one another. The more that we utilize social media, the more we become detached from each other. I mean, like, come on. There's so many reasons to be anxious and depressed right now. So just honor yourself that you are in an environment that's not healthy. So you're just trying to make something unhealthy healthy, man. And give yourself some grace. That's all I can say.
That's it.
And
get with your people.
Yeah,
in
facts.
this time.
Facts.
Like,
Now's
having
the time
fun,
for
finding joy is resistance in this time.
Get your fan. learn a line dance.
Shoot. No, but seriously, like, I really feel like it's like they're using who they voted for and what's going on in the world as like a dig, and it's like to defiantly still find joy with your people.
Yes,
please.
The only marching I'm doing is is line
Facts.
dancing.
Put them pickets up. It's their turn. We done did enough.
I'm not, so rest is resistance. The fact that everything has to be resistance is crazy.
Yes,
but yo, just rest.
Yeah,
go out and be in the sun. You know what I mean? Go lay in the grass. Go touch some grass. You know what I mean? Laugh with your friends. Laugh with your family.
Yeah.
Do things that make you happy. That is how you combat what's going on in the world today. And you can't solve all the problems. There's a lot of problems. And you choosing to rest and you choosing to find joy and peace at a time like this is not selfishness. It's survival.
Right.
So, yeah, man. Give yourself some grace.
Facts.
That's all I got to say.
That's it. That's all.
That's it. That's all.
Right.
We out this, John.
Yeah, take us out. Don't we have a ending?
I thought
I started it off. I got to end it.
Yo, this is the Cool and Real Life podcast, man, where passions and purpose align. We trying to align those things. We're trying to find alignment in all that we do. And we pray that you guys do that as well in all that you do. This is episode 14, mental health. Hopefully we didn't feel rushed through this. Hopefully you don't feel like we're rushing through it. The next episode, we're actually going to sit down and chop it up for real because we've been gone for a little while. So stay tuned for episode 15. That's all I can say.
All right.
And yeah, man, we out of here.
Yeah.
Hit us up on IG, cool__IRL. Hit us up on IG as well, Cool and Real Life Sounds, CIRL Sounds. That's the musical aspect of us. We do DJ sets. We do all types of musical things. We was holding hands for a long time.
Yeah, we had to let that go.
And yeah, man. Vibe with us. Hit the comments. Let us know how you feeling. Check in. Tap in. We're real people. We are real people. I will talk back. I promise you. If you need somebody, I'm here. I promise you. That's healing for me too. But we out.
We out.
Damn, why you say out like that?
Out like what?
We out.
We out.